No, we'll stay on Syria. And then we'll
Yes,
get to
Syria. When you say a pause, well, the Syrian army with Russia's help has reportedly retaken around 70% the last time I saw of eastern Aleppo. Would you like them to stop? Would you like them not to take the rest of the city?
Well, again, I think what and you saw, frankly, the statement that was released earlier today by Canada, France, the United States, clearly, Germany, Italy, and the United Kingdom that talked about the dire situation in Aleppo, the fact that it's being subjected to daily bombings and artillery attacks by the Syrian regime, supported by Russia. But we're looking for an immediate cessation of hostilities there, regardless of whether it's 70% taken, 75% taken, 80% taken by the Syrian regime. We want to see an end to the violence.
This administration has been very vocal about civilian suffering throughout the operations to retake eastern Aleppo. Other than civilians, what other concerns does the U.S. government have as the Syrian army, with Russia's help, are retaking eastern Aleppo, other than civilians?
Well, so first of all, just to answer your first question, the statement also said that they're looking for Russia and the Syrian regime to comply with the 4-point UN plan, and that spells out in a very detailed way what we're looking for in terms of resolving the situation, especially in Aleppo. It's first a medical evacuation of the sickest or most severely wounded from eastern Aleppo. We want to see an entry of medical supplies into Aleppo, access to medical supplies in order to treat those who can't be evacuated. We want to see an entry of food supplies into the city, since it's now been several months since some parts of the city have had access to humanitarian convoys. And we want to see a rotation of doctors, medical personnel who are able to be rotated into the city to provide medical care for many of those affected by the violence there. Your question was about
other than civilians. What other concerns?
Well, obviously, look, this is we talked about this in great length the last couple of days, and I understand why. But essentially, if there can be no military resolution to the conflict in Syria, and even if the Syrian regime is able, with Russia's help, to retake Aleppo, that doesn't mean that the violence, the conflict is going to end. And so what we need and what's at stake here is creating the conditions so that political negotiations can begin again in Geneva. And you're not going to, sure. We believe that it's only going to, so we believe that it's only going to exacerbate the ongoing conflict, that the opposition is not going to lay down their arms, but is going to continue fighting. And in fact, it can only, as we fear and have expressed our concerns about, that it could, as I said, only increase or escalate the conflict, not necessarily in Aleppo, but elsewhere in the country. So if our ultimate goal here, is just to get back to a political track here, we don't believe that the current trajectory is conducive to that.
Do you think the retaking of Eastern? Do you think, though, the retaking of Eastern Aleppo would be a defeat for al-Nusra?
Look, we're all about defeating al-Nusra. We agree on that. Russia and the United States are in agreement that Nusra is a terrorist organization and needs to be dismantled and destroyed, much like Daesh does. But we have not seen that Russia's focus has been on Nusra. It's been on helping the regime go after the moderate opposition in Aleppo. And, that's what we believe is taking place there. We were at a point, we had a deal on the table where we could have gotten to a place where we cooperated with Russia to take on Nusra. We're not there now, but we both agree that Nusra is a threat.
So just to clarify, you don't think that it will defeat al-Nusra?
I'm sorry.